Welcome back to 6 Minute Math, where we turn confusion into clarity 6 minutes at a time. Thank you for joining us today as we are going to explore what are factors. 6 minutes goes by quickly, so here we go. Our key points when we are discussing what are factors is to know that factors are numbers which can be divided from an original number with no remainder. This is important that all factors will be whole numbers. How are we going to do this? We are going to use our divisibility rules to find the numbers that can be divided from that original. We here at 6 Minute Math like to form our factors in the shape of a factor U. What this means, if I am looking for the factors of 28, is that our factors, when going from lowest to highest, will form the shape of a U. We will outline this process as we work through some examples, but it helps us stay organized and to not forget any important factors. Before we get to some examples, here are our divisibility rules. Please pause, take a screenshot, and become fluent, as the easier our divisibility rules are in our head, the easier it is to find our factors. So let's look at some examples here. We're going to find the factors of 24. I have my divisibility rule chart, and I'm going to go through. Now, every number has two factors, 1 and that number, so I have 1 and 24, and then I'm going to go through. 24 is even, so I'm going to have 2, and what times 2 is 24? Well, that would be 2 times 12. The sum of my digits is divisible by 3, so I know that 3 is a factor, and 3 times 8 is 24. I also know that 24 can be divided by 2 twice, therefore making 4 a factor, and that matches up with 6. Now at this point, I'm going to look for 5. 24 does not end in 5 or 0. And then if I were to move on to 6, I already know that 6 matches up with my 4. Therefore, when I go in order, I have my factor U. How about another example? We're going to find the factors of 56. I have my divisibility chart. I know that 1 and 56 are factors. 56 is even, so I have 2 and 28. It is not divisible by 3. It, however, is divisible by 4 for 4 and 14. It does not end in a 5 or 0. It cannot be divided by 2 and then 3. 56 is divisible by 8 though, so I know that 7 and 8 are also factors. At this point, I see that my last two factors are either the same or right next to each other, meaning that I am at the end of my factors and I have a perfectly formed factor U. How about if I'm looking for the factors of 128? I have my divisibility chart. I know I have 1 and 128. 128 is even, so I have 2 and 64. It is not divisible by 3. I also have 4 and 32. Not divisible by 5. It is not divisible by 6. It is divisible by 8. I have 8 and 16. And then I don't have a divisibility by 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. And then I get back to my 16, so I know my factor U is complete. On to our last example here. We're going to find the factors of 144. I know that I have 1 and 144. It's even, so I have 2 and 72. It is divisible by 3, so I have 3 and 48. It's divisible by 4 and 36. It is not divisible by 5. It is divisible by 6 and 24. It is not divisible by 7. It is divisible by 8. Therefore, I have 8 and 18. I also have 9 and 16. Not divisible by 10 or 11. It is divisible by 12 and 12. At this point, I have the same number at the bottom. So this one is kind of large, but I have a wonderfully formed factor u. Those are all the examples we have today when we are exploring what are factors. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok here at 6 Minute Math, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below for any topic you want to see me tackle in a future 6-minute episode. Always remember that the best way to get math is to practice math, so keep on practicing. And until next time, keep solving and evolving.